Ahoy, shipmates! What a lovely sunset we have this evening. I think these ship TVs are going to probably take a back seat in the coming next couple of months due to the reduced number of cruise ships leaving. Most of the cruise ships being repositioned to different locations, sunnier climes. So we have less traffic in port. And also it's darker. No longer have the benefit of light. And that's going to be a problem. This weekend, or tonight I should say, the clocks go back an hour, so it'll be even darker in the evenings. No, it's going to be problematic because I can't really see a great deal of the ships at night time. They're too dark. It's all a bit problematic, but it's looking absolutely perfect to me. Just waiting for Regal Princess to make her appearance. She's currently in the port area. I'm just going past Town Quay by the looks of it. I'll probably be able to see her ever so shortly. 2,000. I still haven't got the radio working. Kevin 2's got the information there. 2,657 passengers on the Regal Princess. Ahoy there, Mark Green, and ahoy there, accounts officer. It's beautiful sunset, isn't it? Ahoy there, Susan Wood. I thought perhaps this would be a good one. Moon, ahoy there, Moon Place says that tonight is also Anthem's last departure, he thinks. Oh, well, it could well be. I've been somewhat slightly distracted by other events recently, so I haven't got to familiarise myself with the timetables. Yes, it looks to me like Regal Princess will be visible very shortly. Let's go and have a look at the other end of the port, shall we? Now, I don't think the Netlicam microphone picks up, but I can hear the tunes. She's blasting her horns. She's going down Southampton Water, or just going past the pierhead. Right, so let's try. I'm all a bit of a dither here. I've been down at Fawley this afternoon, taking some film of the tower, the chimney that's coming down tomorrow at 7 in the morning. And there were lots of people down there having their last look at the chimney before it gets blown up tomorrow morning. It should be visible on Netlicam. The current forecast for tomorrow is absolutely horrendous. We're talking 40 mile an hour plus winds. Lots of rain. There we go. Just about to see her coming through there. Yeah, lots of rain. Winds. It's just not going to work out, I don't think, for any droning. Possibly even I was going to go on a boat and watch it from the water, but I think that might not work. I'm not even sure if taking a camera is going to work as well. I'm going to have to get up early in the morning and make a decision on that. But Netlicam should be okay. I'm just a bit worried that it might be a little too windy for Netlicam and it might wobble around. But I also have Tower Cam. Its view is slightly obscured at the moment, but it'll be in action tomorrow morning. So I should be able to get something. Of course, all that said and done, if the visibility's poor, I won't be able to see anything, will I? Yeah. Well. I shall have to see. I don't even know Anthem's going to New York. Oh, excellent. Thank you for that, shipmate Raymond Dickinson. I don't know where Regal Princess is going. Like I say, I've been out all day filming. Of course, when I got back, Rusty was absolutely filthy. We had to have a little bath. And actually, I made a little film about that as well, because Mrs. Ships has been writing some more rusty poetry. Do that one later. I think if you were departing this evening on the Regal Princess, you'd be having a wonderful time, wouldn't you? It's very mild out there. It's about 14, 13 degrees centigrade, so bearable enough that you could go out onto your balcony, and there is a beautiful setting sun. Sit back on your balcony with a blanket on your lap and a rum-based cocktail in the other hand. Just enjoy the sights and sounds of the Port of Southampton. Aha, Kevin 2's come through the information that I was looking for. She's off for a 4-night cruise to Rotterdam, Netherlands, and then returns. Looks to me like she might be showing some football on the big screen. Would that be football or rugby? I think there's a rugby match going on as well. Can't tell from this distance. Looks more like football, don't you think? I'm not sure. Queen Victoria, that we can just see the bow of, she's out of service for a while. I think she's having some work done. I can hear her blowing her horn again. So, there we go. Look at that. It's a lovely evening, isn't it? The wind's calmed down. I can't believe it's going to be 40, 50 mile an hour winds tomorrow and pouring rain. This is the calm before the storm, I guess. It sounds like Queen Victoria was doing a bit of honking back, and now Regal Princess is honking again. I need to get the microphone sorted out, don't I? I don't think you can hear it on Netlicam. It's too far away. Definitely a Moon Player says could be a bit of horn action. There's definitely some horn action out there. Not getting any of it. Ahoy there, Colin Larch. Ahoy there, Shane Sweetman. Says the sunset from the Isle of Wight looking towards Fawley is one of the best. Okay. I can have a look on Cow's... no, that's not working. I was going to look on Cow's Cam, but I appear to have broken that as well. It is a lovely sunset out there. Netlicam does manage to capture some stunning visions. I think it's the exposure and the long horizon. Plus it sort of sets over the land. The land generates clouds, and that helps give you some lovely detail. And ahoy there, Tina Stockman says the Anthem is off to the Bahamas, and her friend works on board. Pity I can't wave to him. Pity I can't go on that ship, frankly. Off to the Bahamas. Sounds like a wonderful time. Boy there, Ken Finch says, we're on the same sky. Getting some delicate pink hues in the sky, seeming. When I was down at Fawley, I bumped into quite a few people who were down there, taking one last look at the chimney. It's an excellent piece of engineering. But pity to see it blown up. But I did also spot a rainbow on the other side of the water, so that's quite good. I should be making up a little video about the history of Fawley Tower for the chimney, and I shall obviously add, hopefully, the demolition footage to that. But it's going to be tricky weather conditions tomorrow. Oh, there, Claire EJB. It's lovely to see an evening live stream again. And oh, there, Tina Stockman says she got off Anthem last week. Can't wait to get back on. Oh, there, Wolfgang H. is curious to know what's for dinner on board tonight. I have no idea, mate, but I'm sure it's sumptuous. Oh, there, Andrew. He says that didn't realise a ship was departing, heard the tune playing, so rushed the computer to watch your channel. Great work. Well, excellent, shipmate. I'm glad your first reaction to hearing a ship horn import is to rush over and check the live stream. That is the right thing to do. It is quite a noise the ship horns make. In fact, you can hear them all over town. I do the same thing, frankly. If I suddenly hear a ship horn, I think, oh, have I missed something? Keeps me informed as well. That looks like football on the big screen. I'm going to go with football. Let's see if we can get a bit closer. I'm probably going to break some copyright infringement rules now, aren't I? Showing a repeat of a television football match. I'll have UEFA down on me. Let's have a look. What do we think? Is that football or rugby? It looks like football, I would say. I think it'd be quite pleasant, actually, sat out there on the top deck, watching your football with your pint of lager in one hand. And lovely evening. Yes, it was great to go down to Fawley. So I'm just making a video for that. With the Mark Green says jam sandwich. I've missed something there. Unless you talk about what's for dinner, of course. Oh, there, Jerry. Biles? There's it. A lovely evening across the Fawley. Certainly is. Let's have a look. Let someone say that. Yes, it looks like the Anthem of the Seas is swinging out as well, so we'll probably catch her as well before it gets too dark. Oh, this is turning out to be a very, very good spontaneous live stream evening. At the moment, I'm just copying over some of the footage I recorded earlier this afternoon. I was down there with Rusty the dog, down at Fawley. I think this camera will have a excellent view of Fawley, although you can't see at the moment. There's a big fat cruise ship in the way. A cruise ship's going, and then there's a Roro behind there called Don Pasco or something. Sounds like Don Pasquale. Sounds like a villain out of The Godfather, doesn't it? You need to meet with Don Pasquale. look. Anthem of the Seas is still spinning around, so should be 5 or 10 minutes. Should be good. Oh, there. Ricky G asked, anyone know how big that screen is? I did see some information on it somewhere. Oh, I can't remember what it was. I can't remember if it was listed in inches or something. But yeah, it's very big. I think it must be in the region of... Well, let's have a think about this. How big might that screen be? Well, I suppose I could just look it up, but where's the fun in that? If the beam of the ship is 125 feet, that screen has got to be... It's got to be at least probably 100 feet diagonal, 75 feet diagonal. Well, I'm just going to look it up. I'm going to cheat. See what we can find. No, I can't find any information on it. I'm sure someone's mentioned it before. I'm going to go with very big. Lovely silhouette there of the Regal Princess on her way to the Netherlands. Approximately just under 10 years old, launched in March 2013. Of course, owned and operated by Carnival Corporation, whose headquarters is just here in the port of Southampton. And I'm sure for tax-efficient purposes, registered in the port of Hamilton, Bermuda. Decent size, the Regal Princess, 330 metres long. Right up there with Queen Mary 2, one of the longer cruise ships. Only 3,500 passengers capacity and 1,300 crew. Not as big as, say, the next ship we're going to see, the Anthem of the Seas, which I think has got closer to 5,000 passenger capacity on that one. Not a lot of difference. Just I think they're and Iona's got obviously somewhere in the region of 5,000. I think they're just a little bit wider, a little bit taller, and that's how they jam all those. Sorry, how they accommodate all those shipmates on board. Quite there, Tom Elkids from Southampton. Hopefully you'll be watching the chimney come down tomorrow, or maybe you're going out there yourself to watch it. The weather looks awful. I'd recommend staying warm and dry and watching it on the Shipmate channel. Moon Plays. Moon Plays has, and it's 33 feet wide, 20 feet tall. Okay, so it must be about 50 feet diagonal. That's certainly bigger than my 42-inch one at home. Jerry Bile says, that's bigger than my lounge. Yes, bigger than my lounge, bigger than my garden. Let's have a look. Anthem. Anthem's got to be pretty close. Oh, should we go? Should we go and have a quick look at Anthem? Let's go and have a look at Anthem, shall we? See if I can remember the preset. Preset 3, I think. Yeah, there we go. Can we see Anthem? There is Anthem. Where are you hiding? It's not like you can hide. You're massive. There you go. See her sneaking past the godfather of the Ro-Ros, the Don Pasquale. The one with the name on the side that I find unpronounceable, the Walhallinus Wilhelmsen. Just a gap in between the ships. We can just about see behind the grain silos. The Iona is in port as well. We can't see her. She's just behind the tree. I need to invest in a chainsaw, I think, so I can trim some of these trees, improve our viewing. Just going to come past Queen Victoria shortly. Slightly newer than the Regal Princess. The Anthem of the Seas was launched in 2015. Again, slightly longer, 347 metres long, compared to, what was it, 330 from Regal Princess? Yeah. Passengers numbers quite different. Total passenger occupancy, 4,900. But at the moment, apparently she's got no passengers on board. Just 1,429 crew. Oh, there, Tom Elkins says, is the Fawley chimney camera looking at the sky? Yes, it is. Unfortunately, at the moment, there's a rather large, hulking great cruise ship blocking the view, and then also the, I'm going to say, the godfather of Roros, the Don Pasquale, also blocking the view. The cruise ship will leave later this evening, and then the Don Pasquale will leave later this evening, thus clearing the view for an unobstructed view all the way down to chimney, down to the Fawley chimney. The advantage of that camera is it shouldn't be affected by wind and rain. Shouldn't be affected by wind, I should say, but rain could be a problem. There's a lot of rain, it's going to affect visibility. Now, fingers crossed, shipmates. Fingers crossed that we can get a little weather window tomorrow morning. Just trying to decide where or not to go. I'm in two minds. I was going to go out on a boat, but it seems pointless because it's so wet and windy. Probably being on shore would be best. Because I'm never going to get a steady picture by holding a camera on a boat that's bobbing around at anchor. That's going to be an absolute nightmare. So that's probably out of the question. Where I'll go to the one of the shore locations and set up my tripod. But then, I don't know. If it's really wet and windy, it's probably not a point. So I might just stay at home sensibly and live stream it instead. Oh, so many decisions. Oh, then Nigel Warren asks, will we see Anthem next year? To be honest, shipmate, I don't know. I've been concentrating on other things, and frankly, I only really know what's going on today. Struggling with that as well. One of the red jets there's had to slow down for Anthem. There is a viewing capsule that goes up on the lift. You can just see that on the top of the ship there. It's not up at the moment. I do see it up in port quite a lot. You must get some really fantastic views from that. Oh, there, James Bridge said he was wondering what to watch tonight. Then he had a ping. Problem solved. Many thanks, Captain. Oh, well, no problem, shipmate. Glad to oblige. It's a very relaxing evening here with a really wonderful sunset. Just need to get myself a rum-based cocktail and those little cocktail umbrellas to go in there. And I can almost feel the Caribbean heat coming off the screen. Raymond Dickinson, he says that the Anthem is coming back. Let's have a look. Go down. Where is the other ship gone? the ship is down here. How do I get down there? There we go. Oh, perfect timing. Oh, I'd like to say I planned that. That would be pip. And there we go. See, at the moment we have a really good view of the Fawley chimney. The camera is steady. It's not very windy. If it was like this tomorrow morning, it would be absolutely wonderful. But it's going to be that way. Actually get a pretty decent view of Regal Princess now. Don't know how far I can zoom in. Can't see the screen from this angle. Oh, that's pretty decent. This light level is very acceptable. But give it an hour or so and it's just going to be too dark. Also notice with container ships, they're too dark as well. They don't have any lights on board. With their Mark Castle says that Celebrity Beyond will be making a few cruises from Southampton next year. She's the newest ship in the fleet. That'll be something exciting to look forward to. With their Kevin Phipps says there's 1196 signatures on the petition. Marvellous. I have a meeting arranged some point in November with absolutely brilliant ports, ABP. Hope they will see some sense and allow the continuation of the port-based cameras. For this moment, I have suspended them following their security concerns. That's where the seas is all the way over there. There's that tree that unfortunately blocks the view. It's a rather pretty tree actually. The Commodore, the Netley Cliff Sailing Club is telling me it's probably the most photographed tree in the area. It was a fantastic sunset and the tree looks marvellous with its spindly silhouette. Reminds me somewhat of like a sort of bonsai tree. It's got a lot of detail. Here we go. It's a bit of a laggy internet connection here. I think I need to improve the internet on the site in Netley. I've got a couple of Wi-Fi links. I think they're a bit obscured, not quite working at peak ability. But we were keen to get the camera up before the chimney was blown up. So it was worth doing, I feel. Well, their Moon Plays says the capsule on top of the ship goes 250 feet above sea level. Yeah, it's called the North Star. I always forget the name of that. I should remember unreliable American V8, and I will get North Star every time. With it, David JM. See, I think this is just about right. This sort of light level, we can get not quite as much detail as I'd like to see on the ships, but I think it's nonetheless it's a very satisfying picture. Water looks smooth. The camera isn't shaking in the wind, and it gets nice, relaxing sunsets. So. when I was down in Fawley, there was a chap there taking pictures. He liked particularly to take architectural type pictures with clouds in the background. He was a big lover of clouds. Did amuse me slightly when he said he gets up in the morning, looks out of his window and sees some lovely clouds, goes down to the coast to try and take some pictures and finds the blue sky, and then goes, no, not again, and turns around and goes back home again. I imagine most people that go to the coast would be quite keen when arriving and finding a blue sky, but not our architectural photographer. He likes the clouds. Bumped into several people when I was down at Fawley. There was a lady there whose father painted the top of the chimney white. There was another gentleman who had his first job on the site. And also we bumped into a couple of young people who were concerned about the impact of the dust in the local environment and generally the development in general. It is a massive development that will be going on. Something in the region of, I think, 4,500 houses. Looks like the tide's just coming back in as well. Looks like Regal Princess is just down by the SO terminals. Do have a preset for that. It's maybe 4. Let's have a look. Yeah, those are the SO terminals. And there's Regal Princess. On our way down to Cowshot. Much better pictures this evening. It's just a little bit lighter and less windy, so it stops the camera wobbling around. It's really nice. I just wish it would be like this tomorrow morning. The ship you can see just in front of the Regal Princess is the Blade Runner. She takes blades, turbine blades, to and from I think the Isle of Wight over to Fawley where they're stored, and then I think she takes them down to Portsmouth where they're loaded onto other ships. That's the problem with these wind turbines. The blades are humongous. Not like you can just stack them up in a warehouse somewhere. Well, the TCC says lovely clear pictures tonight. It is lovely, isn't it? Like I say, I think this is probably going to be one of the last ship's TVs because it's just after the clocks go backwards, it's going to get dark in the evenings, and it just doesn't do too well in the dark. The cameras are. I mean, it is actually quite dark out there, so I am actually amazed how good these cameras are. But what they do struggle with is really bright lights and the darkness. They can't really decide what to do, and so you end up getting a very ugly looking picture. See where Anthem's got to. She is. Also need to straighten the camera. It's a bit wonky. Always something to do, isn't there? The mast that it's attached to, I thought it was fairly vertical, but I think the bracket at the top that holds other cameras has been there for some number of years and it's probably been exposed to an awful lot of wind and rain, and I imagine it's slightly bent. Difficult to tell on the ground and when you're up the ladder, but in reality it's a bit wonky. Also noticed when I was over in the forest, there's a lot of flaming going on over in the refinery. I don't think the Extinction Rebellion people would be very impressed with that. Oh, and Kevin 2's excellent information. Iona departing in 10 to 15 minutes. Oh gosh, we get Iona as well. Quite like Iona at night time. She's very well lit up, so well, I'll keep on with that. I didn't think she was leaving till later. This is all, like I say, all last minute because I was busy down in Fawley making some films, and then Rusty decided that he would jump in every muddy puddle, so he needed a wash. And of course, he got to blow dry him afterwards. Well, that'll be good. Okay, this will be a good one then. I should have put. I should edit the title. Yeah, the new development down at Fawley, I think it's somewhere in the region of 4,500 houses. There is going to be a marina, so that you can park your boat. Come on, camera, focus. 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 There we go. Yeah, 4,500 homes, marina. And the marina will be capable of taking super yachts as well. Oh, with the Mark Castle says high tide was at 5:46, so it's just on the turn. I thought it was quite high. Ahoy there, Nicholas August. And ahoy there, Tom Elkins says, I hope we get the old cams back. So do I, shipmate, so do I. And shipmate David JM makes very good points, says he pities the locals, expecting a nice quiet extra hour lay-in when the chimneys go bang. Yeah, and it's 7 o'clock in the morning as well, on a Sunday. That's relatively early, isn't it? Well, when on the way back from Fawley, the road wasn't closed just yet, but they were already putting lots of cones down there and lots of signs telling you no parking and don't stop. And then there was a whole, must have been a dozen or more security guards all there with their radios, ready to stop people from parking. I don't know why you'd park there this early. Yeah, they're not very keen on people seeing what's going on. I'm hoping the cameras will work tomorrow. Just disappointing. Fortunately, I still don't have the radio working, so Kevin 2 said that Iona is departing in 10 to 15 minutes, so I'll keep it on. Yeah. Still in dock at the moment. I will wait once the Iona leaves and then the Godfather of the Roros, the Don Pascal leaves, then we can get the other chimney camp pointing in the right direction. There is the chimney. I'm going to miss that when it's gone because I'm not going to have something. I know roughly where the camera is when I'm zooming it around because I recognise the chimney. But when it's gone, it'll be the same. Oh, there's Sandra Woodcock. And ahoy there, Christopher Matthews. And ahoy there, all at sea. It says, do your cameras have infrared facility for night viewing? They do, but it's a limited range. Infrared cameras do work well at night, but they still ultimately require light. And with all the lights on the ship, it doesn't help. It just makes it worse. The cameras have a 150 meter infrared lights on them for range, but but obviously these ships are much further away than 150 meters, so unfortunately that doesn't work out very well. Boy, there, John Hampton said, is there no access to Cowshot Beach? They're closing the road down to Cowshot at, I think, at 4 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. Read a couple of different things. Closing the road down so you can't get down to the beach. So I suppose if you were at the beach already, you'd be fine. So that means I'd have to be down at Cowshot Beach pretty early in the morning. So and it's not the best of the places. It's quite exposed, so I'm not sure I want to spend hours just sat on the beach at this time of year, unfortunately. Hi there, Mark Castle. He said he liked my video on the Mersey. Hey, thanks, shipmate. I was up distilling some Rusty Rum and Rusty Boy Botanicals gin. So I thought while I was in the area, I'd have a quick look around and see what else I could do. And the distillery was up in the Wirral, and of course that was just not too far away from Birkenhead to Liverpool. Well, the Dizzy Sea says, have they demolished the control room yet? I thought at least that might be preserved in some way. An iconic building. 100% agree with you there, shipmate. Very iconic building indeed. If you're not familiar with the control room at Fawley, you may well have seen it in many films. It's been in Star Wars, Mission Impossible, Rollerball back in the 70s. It's a brilliantly round building that does look futuristic control room. It's I'm not sure it quite fits into the brutalist architecture school of design, but I suppose you could classify it as such. I thought perhaps it might have been listed. It's a shame that it's not. It's a lovely building. I've got some shots of that, so you'll be able to see that when I make my Wally chimney video later. There was even an episode of Red Dwarf filmed in the control room, but my understanding is that will also be demolished. Ahoy there, Helen Jones. Yeah, we're just about... There we go. The ferries. Just about reaching the point where the camera is going to start struggling. It, frankly, is quite dark out there. We've probably got a half an hour or an hour of semi-light. Well, there's Simon Hughes says, great to have you back, Captain. Many thanks, shipmate. Many thanks. I believe Iona is also due to depart shortly. I've not seen anything yet. Can't hear anything because I've somehow disconnected the radio. Well, there, Kim Colby from Devon. Good to see you back. Well, thanks, shipmate. It's great to see everyone again. Yeah, Regal Princess has got to. There she is. Just down there. Just making the turn around Cowshot. Oops. This method of controlling this camera is not the easiest. There we go. Well, there's Leslie Donaldson saying, there goes Brian. I've noticed people calling the ferries Brian. I don't know what. I don't know why. Is that a particular ferry that everyone's calling Brian, or is that just randomly one of the ferries? Come on, behave yourself. There we go. Boy there, Diane Wallington, that says that some of the crew members making use of the running track to get some exercise. Yeah. Probably a decent size running track as well, considering the size of the vessel. What, 347 meters? Boy there, John Hampton says, are you going? Am I going? Where am I going? Am I going down to see the chimney? Depends on the weather, really. I'm going to get up early. Yes, ahoy there. Bishwatnil says that you can see car headlights on the Ridge Road. Absolutely true. It's surprising, but we can just about make them out. If I look out the window now, it is actually quite dark, so these images are quite pleasing. I don't think it helps when the camera wobbles around, and I do understand it wobbles around, so I'm going to have to put some guy lines and bolt it down a bit better and stop that wobble, because it is a little disturbing, I have to admit. Well, there, James Duffy says he's late to the party, but got a nice glass of wine. Well done, shipmate. That's the way to do it. Oh, Brian Ferry. Well, thank you, Daniel San. You see, they're all Brian Ferries. Fair enough. I understand. No further word on Iona. Still in port. But should be leaving shortly, so hopefully the light will stay. It's getting darker. Oh, Iona's singling up, just as I mentioned that. Thank you for that, Kevin. So that's good. If Iona's singling up, she'll be on her way shortly, so she's brightly lit ship. So maybe we'll see her decently travelling down Southampton water. You see the camera's just starting to struggle now with a bit of focus. Yeah, that is the Isle of Wight. You can see in the background that looks like a hill. The rolling hills of the Isle of Wight. I think that's probably... what do they call that place? It's probably looking at something like Whippingham, a little bit further to the east, maybe Wootton Bridge, a bit Fishbourne perhaps. I'm not quite familiar with the geography on this camera yet. I need to spend some time looking at the geography, but yeah, somewhere in that region. Can't quite see cows. Oh, the Dinah Bridge said not much left of the old Ride Queen now, sadly. Yes, I was up the Medina a while ago, and I barely recognised her. Just a rotting hulk right next to one of the arenas. I'll maybe get a little film of her one day as well. Before someone decides to remove the environmental hazard. Iona is off to Vigo in Spain. Iona is in fact fractionally shorter than Anthem of the Seas. Anthem of the Seas is doing a good old smoke job over there. And here we have one of the red funnels coming up from the stern. In the middle of the picture there, you can probably just see those little lights. That is the road up on the Isle of Wight that the cars are travelling along. Camera's starting to struggle with focus. Hoping we can see Iona decently. The Regal Princess might well be visible on Cow's Cam shortly. I don't think I've got a connection to Cow's Cam at the moment. I think if I go to Cow's Cam it goes dark. Yeah, no, it's doing something weird, isn't it? Oh, there we go. Yeah, there's Cow's Cam. Marvellous. Well, we should be able to see Regal Princess whoosh by. Should be going quite fast at that point. I'll give us something to look at. Why we have Iona coming down. Apparently she's singled up, so she could be on the move shortly, Iona. Hopefully we'll get a bit of light, but it's starting to look quite dark now. There goes one of the red jets. Regal Princess out in the Solent, just making a turn to port around Bramblebank. Shortly to be going past Cow's Cam. Another one of the red jets going down. Oh, there, James Duffy says it's going to be bumpy across Biscay for the next couple of days. I'm not surprised. There certainly has been a bit of a weather system around. That's probably going to start the old washing machine of the Bay of Biscay. The natural geography of the Bay of Biscay means that it can be quite a churn. Probably not so bad in a larger vessel, but if you're in something that's in the 30 to 50 feet range, it can be quite unsettling. Well, then Nicholas Walker says, oh, well, you can have control of Cat's Cam. Indeed, I do, shipmate. I can control all the cameras remotely on anywhere in the world. But there's nowhere else in the world I'd rather be than the port of Southampton. Looks like all at sea is also enjoying a glass of wine. This is going to drive me to drink. Update on Iona. Appears to be on the move, according to Kevin. Let's have a quick look at the map. I can't see anything going on, but he's probably right. It's really dark out there now, unfortunately. I'll stay with it and see if we can see Iona. This will probably be the last chance because it's just going to get darker the rest of the year. So I'll give it a go. Still a little bit of light over on Cow's Camp. He picks up quite a lot of the street lights. Oh, I can see fireworks as well. Oh yeah, it might be a good camera for catching fireworks. I hadn't thought about that. Normally, there's a wonderful display in Mayflower Park. But obviously last year was cancelled due to the pandemic, and I don't think it's on this year either. It's a bit of a shame. Oh yeah, there's loads of fireworks going off. Let's see if I can adjust the focus. Yeah, a little bit maybe. Anthem the Sea just taking a turn around the end of Cowshot Spit now. Looks like she's holding up the ferry. And the Regal Princess just passing by, and you can see those fireworks in the background. As you can see at this point, they really have picked up a bit of speed once they go around Bramblebank. And I'll be picking up speed somewhere in the region of probably 15, 16, maybe even 18 knots. Probably tell you if I looked at the computer. Currently 16 knots, there we go. Yeah, so it's more or less a straight shot now, out over to the Portsmouth end, over to the Nab anchorage. That's a really good view here, isn't it? The Anthem the Regal Princess is quite a bit closer to land to the camera here. we get such a good shot. Wait there, Dave Watts. It's good to have you back. Yeah, wait there, Brian Friend. Oh, wait there, Diane Bridge. This has some very rough crossings over the Bay of Biscay. Bay of Biscay, very exciting, yes. Lots of rough ones going across the Bay of Biscay. I have a friend who tells me a story when he went across in his yacht about how he was considering signing his will, making his last testament. Camera. He didn't think he was going to get out on the other side. There we go. That's. I'm going to go back to Netley Camp now. Let's see if we can go back. Anthem the City's just gone around the corner, so this is going to be complicated now. Netley Camp. Let's whiz up and get ready for Iona. So we need to go back to the dock here, which I think is 3. Reset 3. Yes, there it is. I see still a little bit of light in the sky. Oh, we should have a good view. Let's have a look, see if she's actually moved or not. Looks like she's moved slightly. Yep, she's definitely on the move. I would say probably 5-10 minutes. She's reversing out and then she'll swing just off the ocean terminal. I wonder if we can see her this way. Behind the square. Watch out for the tree. Must be there somewhere. Somewhere. Not quite familiar with the geography on how all this works. I think. Let's have a look. That makes sense. Look at the map. Camera's here. Looks up there. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So we should be able to see her, I think. I'll say if I just my little chainsaw, I could chop off a few of these branches and just increase our view. But the trees alone for the moment. Boy, there, Anthony Hill. There's no need to feel grieved. These pictures are good. Even better than those from the port. Award yourself a tot, matey. Oh, absolutely. Could do with a tot. Ah, there we go. Yes, we can see Iona over the Wilhelmsen. With Anthony Hills, maybe some software to enhance the picture. Ooh, possibly. There is a lot of settings on the cameras, but I think, as you can see here, if there's just a little bit of light in the sky, I can get a reasonable picture. But as soon as it goes really dark, the bright lights, it just makes it really difficult. Makes it very challenging. Yeah, and remotely it's quite difficult to adjust the settings real time. If I was there with the camera, I could probably adjust the settings, but because it's remotely, I've got to go through some various different softwares to go into the settings to adjust the camera. So it's not ideal if I keep zooming in and out. Just have to bear with it, I'm afraid. As you can see, bulky. I was going to say bulky old Iona, but that's not that old. She only arrived last year. Or was it this year? Oh, blimey. I think it might be this year. Oh, gosh, it was this year, wasn't it? Oh, really? I don't know where time goes. reversing out of the ocean terminal is Iona on her way to Vigo in Spain. I haven't got any passenger numbers. Has anyone got any passenger numbers? I'm a bit deaf at the moment. I don't have the radio. It is most disconcerting not being able to hear what's going on. Well, James Duffy says he was on Victoria Christmas a few years ago. Force 9 across Biscay. Restaurant seemed quiet. Yeah, I can imagine. Force 9 across Biscay, only for the strong stomachs amongst us. And we can see Iona, hopefully between the grain silos and the dog Pasquale. James Duffy says, is Iona still reduced numbers? Half capacity when he was on board a couple of months back. I don't know. I've not heard of it. I don't have the radio on me at the moment, so I couldn't tell you. But certainly the last couple of times I've heard it go out, it's definitely have reduced numbers. Apparently the pilot keeps telling VTS he'll get back to them with the numbers. Thank you for that, Kevin. Andy Hill says, doing a great job. No criticism intended. No, thanks for that, shipmate. It's I've seen some various different softwares, but it is streaming, so I'm not sure if these softwares work via streaming. There is only so much you can do when it's really dark. I think we're just lucky there's just enough light in the sky still. You can see it's just a hint of light. I think, what do they call this? The blue hour? Is it the blue hour? I don't know, there's a photography term for it. I think it's the blue hour. I wonder if Anthem of the Seas will be on cruise cam. Not cruise cam, on Cow's cam. Probably in a bit. Going around Bramblebank at the moment. Being escorted by the law enforcement, the Southampton Patrol. Which one is that? It's all Southampton Patrol, yeah. They often escort the cruise ships out. I don't know if we'll get a lot of fireworks. When's firework night? I suppose it's next weekend. I suppose we might, Friday, Saturday, probably more likely to get the more fireworks. I'll just keep a lookout. Having said earlier that the Mayflower Park often has a display. Displays in Mayflower Park they aren't in the park. I should rephrase that. They're actually on barges out on the water. So the park is full with different fairground rides and attractions and all sorts of things. Hot dog vans and, of course, ice cream vans there. And then you can see the fireworks from Mayflower Park. It's rather good. But in previous years, I would say that some of the firework displays I've seen for a brand new ship departing on their maiden voyage probably outdo the Round Table's efforts in Mayflower Park, which is quite amazing. With the Nix's case, I should make a video of my bridge setup. Well, I should do. It's all a bit of a mess at the moment, shipmates. I've just relocated to a different office. I'm not really fully set up. Had to take a unexpected trip to Spain, which messed up all sorts of things for me. Now we're talking about buffets. Now it's making me hungry. The trouble with you lot in the chat, you're either talking about the wine you're drinking or what's for dinner. It either makes me hungry or thirsty. Or both. Quick look back at cows. Nope, nothing happening at cows just yet. Anthem of the Seas, I would think, must be due to pass any time soon. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's just rounding Bramble Bank. Still see more fireworks going off immediately on the Solent area. Surprisingly bright sky over the sort of Portsmouth direction. Like I say, I think it's just the slight bit of light that's in the sky, plus the street lights and all the light pollution. We can see. There we go. I've not seen this before. We can actually see between the grain silos and the rows, a cruise ship doing the turn. Not too bad, is it? It's quite impressive considering that's quite some distance away and it's dark. Very good, very good. Shipmate Nicholas August asks, when is the next maiden voyage from Southampton? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. There's a new P&O ship, isn't there? I don't remember its name. That's next. I think that might be next year sometime. I think it's a sister ship to Iona. Possibly that one. There's probably some other ones. I don't look that far ahead. I don't like to unnecessarily excite myself. I think this is capital maximum zoom. Oh, no, people. There we go. That is maximum zoom. I definitely need to stabilise the camera, don't I? It's a bit wibbly wobbly. I can't have that. But yeah, that's quite impressive. I am impressed with these cameras. Very good. I would think Anthem of the Seas must be any moment now on Cow's Cab, surely. Cow's Cab, surprisingly to me, faces the northeasterly direction. I was expecting ships to be on there quicker than they are. A quick look at the AIS position. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, probably a minute or two. With a Leslie Dawson says that Iona must have been a quick spin cycle. I have to agree. Iona, I think spin. I mean, some of these cruise ships, the time it takes them to spin around is phenomenal. We're talking about a ship that's 347 meters long, 44 meters, sorry, 184,000 gross tons. We're talking about a lot of ship here, with passengers and crew. Could be 7,000 people on board, and yet they spin around just like that. It is amazing. Of course, it's the way that they are powered these days with azipods and bow thrusters. They make manoeuvring a lot easier. That's why you don't see cruise ships with tugs very often. They are very manoeuvrable compared to a container ship, which doesn't have anywhere near the manoeuvrability. It really only has an engine that goes forward, and that's it. There is no alternative. That's why they're tugged in. Better check cows count. There we go. Cows count. Pay attention. Change the settings on cows count. It's looking a bit out of focus. And there's the Anthem of the Seas just passing by our cow's camp. I wonder if that light up on the hill there is a big bonfire. What do you think? Or was it very orange? Probably a car park for some reason. There is some nice lighting here on Anthem of the Seas. You can see the lovely reflection of the blue on the top, the detailing of the Carnival logo. Sorry, not. The Royal Caribbean logo, I mean, and then the Anthem of the Seas name. And there she goes behind the hill. In fact, Osborne House is just at the top of that hill. If you ever get over to the Isle of Wight, I recommend a trip to Osborne House. Very interesting indeed. Well, then Michel DF says, can I make a drone video of the way cruise ships leave from Southampton, go around the Isle of Wight, and then off towards Portsmouth? Ooh, quite tricky, actually, that ship, mate. That's a long... I can't realistically drone that far. Yeah, it's a good idea, shipmate. I'll have to think about that. Think what to do for that. See, that looks like a... In my mind's eye, that looks like a bonfire, but I don't think it is. Oh, come on, focus camera. This one doesn't want to focus very well. There we go. Sort of looks like a bonfire, doesn't it? Come on, focus. Disobedient piece of technology. And just in time to get Iona going past the dockhead. Perfect timing. Still just a bit of light in the sky, so it's perfect. You can see there the scale of Iona. Compared to Queen Victoria. Frankly, dwarfing Queen Victoria. They are having a bit of a honking battle. It's a pity I don't have the microphone working. But look at that. I mean, Iona herself doesn't look like a big... I mean, I know she's a big ship, but she doesn't really look like a big ship. It just looks like a familiar P&O-style ship. Could be Aurora or Azora. You know, big Union Jack on the bow. White, blue funnel. You know, looks... They all look relatively similar. Well, it's not until you see Iona against another ship, like you can here, Queen Victoria, you just appreciate how big she is. It is a whopper. With it all at sea, it says that the Iona ship, the Arriva. Well, Arriva? Arvia? Anyway, not sure how you pronounce that one. I remember that. It's on her way, maiden voyages to the Canary Islands in December next year. Oh, that's a shame. Well, we might, if she comes to the port of Southampton, I'm sure she will. I'm sure it'll be a spectacular, because obviously it probably might be a home port, I'm not sure. Well, Martin Smith says, really excellent live coverage tonight. I'm really enjoying it. Thank you. Well, thank you, Shipwreck. Thank you for tuning in. Glad you're enjoying it. And as I was saying earlier, Iona is definitely one of the few cruise ships that is very brightly lit and can just about get away with doing a nighttime broadcast like this. As I say that, Leslie Donaldson says she looks amazing all lit up. Absolutely right. Yeah, I think, in my experience of doing these, I think Iona is possibly the brightest ship I've seen. You can see the problem here. If I zoom out too far, it just turns into a bright blob. The camera can't really cope. So I'm going to have to be relatively close so that we've got something interesting to look at. Off on the way to Vigo in Spain. Did we get passenger numbers? I don't think I saw anything. No passenger numbers yet, so the pilot's still counting them. He's probably got lost on his way to the buffet. A very large ship indeed. Not as long as Anthem of the Seas, surprisingly. More capacity and passengers. Maybe she's wider. Maybe beamier. Let's check. Beam of Iona is 42 metres. Whereas Anthem of the Seas has a beam of 41 metres. About the same then. So they're just about as beamy. I wonder if the air draft is different. Doesn't tell you. That's one of the few facts that I don't often get, is the height of the ships, or the air draft. All ships have a draft. That's the amount of the ship that's underneath the water, either surface water, which in the case of Iona is 11.8 metres, and in the case of Anthem of the Seas, 8.8 metres. But also they often call it an air draft, and that's the amount of ship that's above the water. I can certainly tell you, when I've droned some of these ships, that in certain parts of the port there is a ceiling on the height that I can fly due to the approach path for Southampton Eastleigh Airport. That's 80 metres, and I can't see over some of the ships. So fireworks. So they must be in the sort of 70 metre range, I would have thought. Well, then James Duffy says, can't believe he's watching two ships that he's been on at the same time. Well, it's a coincidence, isn't it? Well, there Dave Watts, great show. Well, there Mark Green says, fabulous. Well, there TC says, thank you, Captain, and all the Blue Spanners. Of course, you've got to thank the Blue Spanners for all their hard work and keeping the streams going and providing lots of very useful information. He's also suggesting that if you haven't, go and sign the petition. That's a good suggestion there, shipmate. Just a hint of light in that sky, isn't there? You can just see the clouds there. Guessing that probably in the next 10 to 20 minutes we will lose that light as well. I shall follow Iona down Southampton water. But I'm probably not going to see her past Cowshot Spit because it's going to get tricky. It's going to be very dark. I also need to make some videos as well. And I need to hit the galley. And all this talk of red wine, I need to hit the bar as well. So do stay tuned, shipmates, especially if you happen to be getting up early tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock for the big one. We'll have Netley Cam, that's this camera you're looking at now. Netley Cam will be able to see the chimney. I say that hesitantly because if it's really windy, which is forecast, it might well be wobbling around quite a lot, which is unfortunate. Alternatively, if it's really heavy rain, that might also obscure visibility. So it's going to be a pot luck on that one. Cruise cam, on the other hand, won't be wobbling around, but is a jolly long way from the chimney. So there's a good chance that cruise cam, or the chimney cam as it's now called, won't be able to see it if it's raining. All very disappointing. Notice it's increasingly difficult to find where the Fawley chimney is because they've turned off the navigation lights. It's not easy to spot anymore at night time. To me, over on Cruise Cow's Cam, it looks like the fog's coming in a bit, doesn't it? I certainly remember from my childhood foggy November the 5th nights. I was never sure if it was actually foggy or if it was just all the smoke from the bonfires and fireworks that made it foggy. It certainly adds to the atmosphere. Right, shipmates, I shall carry on following Iona until I think we can see stars in the sky. I've noticed that before. That's pretty good, isn't it? Very good. Sorry, I distracted myself. Thanks for tuning in, shipmates. I shall carry on following Iona down to the end of Cowshot Spit, where I shall probably lose her from that point. Of course, thank you for all my PayPal donors and Patreons for helping to pay for all these jolly expensive cameras and all bits and pieces required to connect them up at various remote locations. All very helpful. Thank you, thank you. And also thanks to Blue Spanner crew for not only looking after this chat on the live streams, but also looking after the chat, the permanent live streams. I think I've covered all bases there. Well, until 7 o'clock in the morning, shipmates. That's tomorrow. Don't forget the clocks go back at 2 in the morning. I shall see you later. Till next time, shipmates.